All right, good to be back out. These last couple days of fall camp, in essence, before school starts on Wednesday. I went through the scrimmage thoroughly on Saturday, and so a scrimmage like that just shed light on good, not so good, guys that are emerging, guys that still have a ways to go, and I think that was the case. But it was good to be back out today. And highlight of the day, we put two guys that had been walk-ons on scholarship, Jory, Choate, and Sullivan. So really proud of those guys and the work that they've done for the program and will continue to do. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
What was kind of how long had this been in the works, and to announce it right there with the whole team for those two guys?
Oh, I don't know. It was the best way to do it, I guess. Acknowledging those guys in front of their teammates is really what it was all about. I think whether there's any social media part to it or not, like I told you before, it's not that big a deal to me, but their teammates, certainly their response, I think they see both those guys as worthy of being on scholarship, and proud of them both.
Yeah, you probably imagine been a part of a few of those, and I mean, is that one of the kind of the highlights of your job as a coach?
Well, I think anytime you can reward a young man, and we have a lot of guys on partial scholarship that get moved up, so I think any situation like that is what you want for those guys. They come with a belief in themselves. They bet on themselves to take advantage of their opportunity, I guess. And so I think seeing any guys kind of climb the ladder, is pretty rewarding.
Sean Chambers was back out there today. Kind of just what you saw from him, and were you expecting where he would be, having a week off?
Well, I thought he looked okay. I wasn't watching him intently, but a week off, and I thought he threw the ball just fine. He probably had fresh legs, and I thought mentally he was in a good place. But it's good to have him back out here.
And then Jordan Reed, if you have an update on him.
Yeah, Jordan's going to have surgery this week, so he'll be out for the fall. Unfortunate for him. He came in mid-year, so he was making really good progress, and it's one of those deals. It was really an incidental situation, like most of those knee injuries are. So he's got a bright future, and setback for sure here, but I think he's got the right mindset about it, and he'll keep working hard.
Can we know if it was an ACL or MCL type thing?
I'd rather not disclose.
No worries. But out for the season?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did Sean Austin look on Saturday?
I think Sean's making progress. Luke Abshire got some reps too. I think they're both young guys that have a little ways to go, and they're certainly, I would say Jordan was ahead of both of them, but Jordan's out now, so it presses those guys a little bit more. And at the same time, you shift into this time where a third-string quarterback doesn't get a lot of reps through this time, so it's a mix of scout team and just they got to stay on top of it. There was a guy last year that was fourth team on the fall camp, and he kept working at it. And you guys know how that all worked out. So I think a quarterback can work in the dark quite a bit, and that's what we need Sean in particular to do.
Speaking of Sean, is it nice to know, though, that you do have Sean Chambers and Tommy Malott kind of there to lead the pack?
Well, that was part of why we brought Sean Chambers in, was to solidify the depth there, and having two guys that are similarly talented, skilled, I guess, was part of the deal. And I'd say that's still a work in progress. I think Tommy, while is making progress, it'd be fun to see him on a Saturday when he doesn't have a gold jersey on and all of that. He's been playing under those constraints now this whole calendar year since Frisco. So a lot of his game is the unscripted, but I can tell you he's gotten a lot better at the scripted part. So that'll be fun to see here in a couple weeks.
And how excited was everybody when RJ scored those couple touchdowns?
Well, I think excited for a practice, a scrimmage. He scored in practice and scrimmage. Yeah. I think we'd love to see it on a Saturday in a game. But RJ, completely healthy version of RJ. It's been good to see him, like that, because he is versatile. One was as a tailback that handled the ball, and the other was out of the backfield as a fullback. And I know he knows the tight end aspect well enough too. So very versatile, and I know he's a favorite amongst his peers for sure.
And I imagine last year with the injury and then with the brace he had in his arm, it's probably hard to even really target him or even give him carries.
Yeah, I after he got hurt, I don't know how many touches, if any, that he had. But I mean, it wasn't for a lack of him working hard. I know that. So, if it pops up where he's got an opportunity, it's in large part because of what he does in the run game, and there's that play action effect that we want that defense on their heels, and so if he gets an opportunity to score at some point, that'd be great.
And any other kind of specific things you learned from the film from the scrimmage that stood out, I guess?
Yeah, I think I maybe said it afterwards that I didn't feel like we tackled real well at times, and by and large, that were guys in that second and third realm as far as those guys competing. And so some of those depth chart battles, in particular for that next backup, that next guy up, those are continuing on. I know that wasn't necessarily solidified on Saturday. And then on the other side, we made some guys miss. I think getting guys like Marquis Johnson, Taco Dollar, Cleveland Thomas in space, while it wasn't a lot on Saturday, I think those guys can really do something with it, and that was kind of the flip side of some of the missed tackles. It was great getting Kagan back out here today, but it felt like the combination of Lane and Elijah and Jared all ran the ball effectively in their own way on Saturday. So, that's 6 guys plus Kagan, I think, that we can hand the ball off to in some fashion and use in the running game. I think that's what we need to be. We need to be very diverse in the run game in addition to our quarterbacks rushing, because we're not going to be turning around and handing off to 22 over and over and over again, at least till he's back. So.
And I know you said Nolan boot was a precaution. Is that still the case?
Yeah, we're holding him out till Thursday.
Okay.
Nothing too serious there. It was just in our best interest to kind of manage him through this stretch. He had a real good first couple weeks. Shut him down for a little bit and then let him go on Thursday.